Hi everyone, welcome to another Friday video on an absolutely fabulous Friday afternoon here. I wasn't expecting it to be this nice, and it makes it even more difficult to see the screen, so I just have to cross my fingers and hope that you guys can see me. So today I'm not gallivanting like I was last week. I'm in my own garden again, and I'm going to talk about deadheading, which sounds a bit aggressive and violent, but really is fairly harmless, so don't worry. What you are doing when you deadhead is you're removing flowers from a plant in an effort to convince the plant to continue to flower. So if you think about a plant's normal life cycle, they grow from a seed, they grow leaves, the leaves give energy to the plant that eventually produces a flower in order for it to reproduce. Flower's job is done, plant dies back, and it makes other seeds, or it's cross-pollinated, or whatever, it goes on to another life cycle. The flower is only there for reproduction, and when that bit is done, that's the end of the flower, which is great and it's beautiful and all the rest of it, but it's not much good if you want a flower garden. So what you are doing in deadheading is removing the flower before it goes to the seed stage to convince the plant to keep producing flowers, because the plant thinks the flower's job hasn't been done, that maybe, I don't know, the wind took it away or something. It doesn't know you cut it off, and oh no, we're going to be extinct if we don't keep producing flowers and reproduce. So that's what you're trying to do. You're fooling the plant into continuing to flower. And I suppose over time I've kind of copped on that it's the flowers, the plants that really take that well are the ones that are the principal flowers of cottage gardening, or flower gardening, like roses and dahlias and things like that, because they really can have a very extensive season, because deadheading can make them last a lot longer. Now, if you don't deadhead and you forget to deadhead, it doesn't matter. You'll still have flowers, and chances are it'll still produce a few more. But if we're talking about a few handy little tricks that'll make your garden give it a bit more bang for its buck, then this is definitely something that is no big deal. And you can do it. My way of doing it is I do it when I'm watering. So if I'm going around in the evening watering, or in the morning, I know it's at the morning when it's really hot, but look, do it when you can do it. I do the two jobs together because, you don't really look at your plants that closely all the time, so that's what I do. So I thought I'll do a couple of ones that are the most usual ones that lots of people have in their gardens. So right here now, oh my gosh, I really can't see my screen. Can you see that? I just don't know. Oh yeah, you can. Right, okay, so here's sweet peas. Lots of people have sweet peas, I guess, in their garden, and they're beautiful, and I've written about them, and I won't talk about them too much more because I might get sentimental. And sweet peas are ones that really, really benefit from deadheading. And deadheading, there is one thing that's a bit misleading in deadheading. It kind of makes you think the flower is fully dead, but really you want to try and get it before it gets to a seed stage. So in sweet peas case, they actually produce a pea, it looks like a pea pod when they're finished flowering. And if it's got to the pod stage, the plant has gone fairly far down the life cycle, you want to try and get it before that. So the best thing to do with sweet peas is to actually cut them when the flowers are in their prime, and it'll produce even more. So bring in a little posy of sweet peas into your house and enjoy them in your house as well as outside, and do it every few days. And that's how you're not actually deadheading them, you're kind of live-heading them. And that's how you will continue to have them. So you can see here, there's ones here that are spent, and hopefully you can see that. Here you can see there's a little pod. Now really that should be gone. So when you're going taking that stem off, you try and get it back to the branch stage. Now I'm trying to do this single one-handed, which is not very clever, but it's very hard to figure out the right text, so I'll do it left-handed and hope for the best. So I'd cut that with the secateurs. Oh jeepers, Rebecca. Sorry guys, this is not the best demonstration I've ever given, but it's very hard to cut with the left hand. Hang on one sec, I'll do it with the other hand. Right, so what you're trying to do there, and I know I did a really poor job of that, apologies, is you're trying to get it back to the parent stem. because that encourages the plant to grow. So you can see there's little pods. That encourages the plant to grow back out from that point again, and often it'll produce more than one. So you can actually end up with way more flowers than you would if you didn't do this process. So yeah, sweet peas are one of the more common ones that people have. Sometimes I don't do it. I don't do it with every plant. Like I don't do it with these poppies, because I just think, let's see, can you see that there? Hopefully. Yeah, I think the actual poppy heads are gorgeous, and I think they're just as pretty as the flowers are. In fairness with poppies, the flowers only last a couple of days. So yeah, the seed pods are beautiful, and I keep them. I think they're lovely. There's other ones I do that with too, where like life's a bit short to be deadhead and everything anyway, but like here, these almerias, it's a bit shadier here now, so hopefully you can see them. These almeria guys, I think they're so cute. I think this is what the flower looks like, these little red pom-poms, and they're gorgeous. And here's another one, but really they don't last that long, and I love having these little puff balls afterwards. So like the flowers, if I was to cut back this, when those flowers come out in May, I think they're actually out quite a while, I'd have cut it back. I'd have nothing, only this little bit of foliage down here to look at in between, and I'd be waiting for it to produce another little set of puff balls. And I prefer having these little fellas. I just think they're cute. So yeah, I don't. So I like to say I don't deadhead everything. Some of them I just think the dead flowers are actually pretty in their own right. So here's dahlias. We can only talk about dahlias for short periods before I burst into tears because of the disaster of the snails and slugs in this garden this year. But I can talk about my black dahlia because that's nothing bad has happened to it. So I'll show you this. Sorry, now step around here. So here's one. This is the plant, or you know, dahlias in general. They're usually green like this one here. This black one is a different variety, and they're usually kind of more exciting flowers than this. I think really this one you're getting the foliage, which is kind of cool itself. Be careful with dahlias, because I think that the spent flower and the flower bud look very similar, and it's easy to go astray with them. So I'll just show you what I do here with these. Oh yeah, take out that. Oh God, try and do my secateurs with my left hand again. So obviously that's a flower in full bloom, that's grand, but I found these two here beside each other. I think they're a good example, and hopefully you'll be able to see them fairly easy. That one kind of still looks like a bud, but that's a spent flower. So you can deadhead that one back down to the parent stem, back down to here, and these are buds. And the difference is the shape. In a dahlia, they're like kind of a ball, and they're more of a cone, and that's how you can tell the difference between the two, because it would be very easy to make a mistake, I think, on dahlias and cut off a load of flower buds. So just be careful, because if you look at this plant, it's going to be a riot of flowers soon. There's loads of little buds, and if you got confused and started cutting all them off, you'd have a very sad situation on your hands. So yeah, they're the other one for deadheading, and I definitely recommend that you do them on those, because they will really respond well and come back with more and more flowers. And my other one then is rose, that lots of people might have. So I'm walking across my soil here to get to it with the least amount of hassle. This is not something I recommend. The soil is so dry this year, it probably is okay, but really, especially if you're anywhere in, you know, a lot of Ireland, we've a lot of wet soil. Don't walk on your soil if you can avoid it. It compacts it and just makes it too wet, and not many plants like that kind of soil. So I'm going to have a look here now at my rose. So I have actually been deadheading my rose quite a bit to encourage it as it's gone along. So this is a climbing rose. There's different types. There's bush roses and rambling roses and patio roses, and this particular one is a climbing rose. I'm not a rose expert. I like roses and everything, but they are popular because they flower early and continuously, and they smell gorgeous, which we all know. But what why people really love them is because they flower for such a long period if you look after them. The only thing is they do seem to get a lot of problems. You know, they get this black spot and they get aphids and they can get a whole load of things wrong with them. And I do my best. I cut off the dodgy bits and I hope for the best after that, because I think you could, you know, spend your life trying to sort out all these little problems with roses. Excuse the traffic. So here's a rose down here that, as you can see, is past its prime. It still smells absolutely amazing, I have to say. They're just so beautiful. So, and you can see, look, it's got black spot, unfortunately. So with that one, you just cut it back off down here. If you were in a rush, right, you can just snap. You can snap the head off, and there's no harm, like no harm will come from that. But it's just better practice to cut it down there if you have a secateurs with you. And see, I can do it single-handed. Some plants do respond to it. Yeah, so that will produce another flower. And I was looking here yesterday and I could see little buds coming again. So it definitely works. Like, you know, they're not going to be there the next day. It's going to take a couple of weeks. But if you keep an eye on it, wait till you see, you will get more and more plants back for using the secateurs. Other plants to do it on for sure. I mean, if in real doubt, don't bother. That'll be it's another one of these things that it's an added extra that helps prolong the amount of flowers you get. But if you're worried, don't bother. Cosmos is another one. So they're kind of a daisy-like flower. Mine flowers aren't out yet. You see, it's still playing catch up from the earlier part of the year but these are Cosmos foliage there. And the Livingston daisies, my crazy daisies, they love it. Alstroemeria, okay, I can probably show you something here when I'm passing it. I hadn't intended to do this now, so excuse me. Right, so this is my Alstroemeria plant here. I love it. I just love it. It's Peruvian lily is the other name for it. God, I see there's a few ants on it now. Holy moly, coming down here mightn't be the greatest idea. Anyway, what you're looking for on these, I'm going to have to snap it and bring it up to the camera because it's too low down. You won't see it. Are these little pods? That's the dead part of or the seed pod of an Alstroemeria. So you're looking for those and snapping them off. There's more here. Hopefully you can see them. It's tricky to show you on this one because it's so low to the ground. But this is the best. Oh, the most brilliant flower for continuous flowering. It'll just go and go and go. So another flower I love. Here's another one that I don't bother deadheading because I don't know why. Life's a bit short, I suppose, really. This one. So this is a high crown. You can see the really hot sunshine has singed some of the leaves here on this one, unfortunately. The right thing to do with that is give it a good watering and trim off the singed leaves. But I will when I get a chance. So these are the flowers here on these ones. So you can cut them off. The flowers are long gone. But really, you can cut them off to tidy them up. You probably won't get a second flush of flowers on those plants. You might and you mightn't. And I actually kind of like the little seed heads on these. I think they're kind of pretty. So I don't bother doing those ones. My other ones then are my Livingston daisies that I do it on. So what you're looking for, it's these guys here. Look, aren't they so cute? And I know I posted earlier about how I thought they were a bit mad, but actually I've decided now, I've had a rethink. It's certain shades of them just don't do it for me. But this white one I think is fab. Like, the amount of flower heads in it is unreal. But there's a whole load of little ones here now that are spent, and I'm not sure if you can surely see them. So I will trim them back down as low as I can on the plant when I have a chance, but there's actually a lot of them to do there, so I leave it for now. Other ones not to bother. I do it on my mint or cat mint or anything like that, but that's like, instead of deadheading, you're basically doing a major haircut on it, so trimming it way back. So that's the mint is over there beside just the kind of bluey purpley flower there. behind the daisy bush, so I do it to that, but that's more of a grabbing handfuls of it and fistfuls of it and cutting it low down to the ground. My lavender, you won't really get a second flush out of lavender, so I don't, there's lavender there, I don't do that till the end of August. I kind of cut it all back, but I'll do a separate live on that because now is not the time for it. So that's it. Look, I have a load of sweet peas over there that need to be trimmed as well, so I don't know if you can see them. I think you can, yeah. So that's it. I'm going to have to get a tip on how you do this, how you do filming in such bright sunlight, because it's not normally a problem I have to solve. So if there's anything that didn't show up very well, or that you want me to show again, let me know, and I'll post photos when I can get a better look on it. So that's it. Thanks a million for anybody who's there. Apologies I can't say hello if you've been saying hello, because I honestly can hardly see the camera in front of me. This is fabulous sunshine, but not something I'm used to. So thanks a million and have a fantastic weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.